steals. This is where the daggers come out too. Stephen Curry rips the cord. Curry, Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield for three.
Well, if there's one thing the Warriors can give you, it's a great series with a side of a few heart attacks. And this series was no different. Because after being up 3-1 in this series, the Warriors waited until the very last minute to show who they really are. A dangerous complexity. In Game 7, it's only logical to look to your Batman and Robin to swoop in and save the day, but it was actually Alfred who stole the show. Buddy Hield dropped 33 points while only missing 3 shots the entire game. It's exactly as I said, a dangerous complexity. A guy that couldn't hit a shot in the previous 2 games literally couldn't miss when it mattered most. And that's just what this team has to be. Unpredictable. We know what Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler can do, but it may not always be their night, and during those times someone will need to step up. But when all else fails, their defense will always be there. When you hold a team to under 100 points 3 times in 7 games, it should speak volumes on how good your defense really is. And this was one of the steady themes that kept the Warriors in every game, even when their offense disappeared. To start the game off, we were looking at yet another slugfest with both teams not really scoring a whole lot of points. Steph actually doesn't even make a single shot for the entirety of the first quarter. But that never means he isn't still an offensive engine. Here's Podziemski with the ball. Draymond goes to set a screen for Steph. As he comes off the screen and gets the ball, 2 jump out at him, leaving Draymond wide open for a layup. Again, here's Looney with the ball. Steph goes over for a handoff. As he turns the corner, he gets past the second defender and draws a third. At this moment, Steph makes an insane read while barely even looking. Because Steph drew in Jalen Green, Looney is now wide open. Tari Eason is looking to cover that passing lane. As soon as he sees that, Steph passes it back to the corner for a Buddy Hield 3.
Buddy Hield for 3, got it.
And this was only the start for Buddy.
Down on the glass. Last shot of the first quarter, it's in! Buddy Hield!
Even though Steph didn't notch any points on the board, the Warriors still had a 4-point lead heading into the second quarter. And this would be known as the Buddy Hield takeover quarter because apparently Alfred got his hands on a flamethrower. This time Jimmy has the ball. He drives in, tempting Dillon Brooks to ball watch and jab in. At the same time, Buddy slides over to the wing, leading to an open 3. The Rockets' game plan was obviously to shut off Steph Curry in any way they could, even if it meant leaving Buddy wide open, and it cost them dearly. Here's Draymond with the ball. Steph is down in the paint cutting through, yet Dillon Brooks is right there with him. But guess where Buddy Hield is? Probably shooting a 3.
Rockets are hard to come by for the Rockets as Buddy Hield laces another one.
Again, this time Steph has the ball. As Steph dribbles up the court, Van Vliet takes his eyes off Buddy, leading to another open 3.
Gets a steal now, Hield sets it up, and Hield is all smiles.
But what happens when you combine Jimmy's driving ability, Steph's gravity, and Buddy's shooting? Here's Jimmy on the baseline. As he drives, he brings in 2 defenders. Dillon Brooks is guarding pods, and Buddy Hield is incredibly wide open because there's nobody else to rotate over. Fred Van Vliet would have been there had Steph Curry not been standing at half court. So Buddy gets yet another open look.
Steph got a fly by. Hield hits another.
But Steph had to get at least 1 shot to fall before halftime.
Great athlete. Curry's got his first.
At the end of the second quarter, the Warriors somehow managed to get a 12-point lead on Houston, even though Steph made only 1 shot. Anytime you can get a double-digit lead while your best player is struggling from the field is a very good sign. So the confidence levels for Golden State had to be at an all-time high. But that confidence would begin to shrink. The third quarter has been a lethal one for Warriors teams of the past. Oftentimes we would see teams get blown out of the water right out of halftime. But that was not the case in Game 7. Once again, the Warriors' offense started to get extremely stagnant. no real flow, and a lot of horrible offensive possessions. But let's not forget that Steph Curry is still one of the best decoys and screeners in the league. Here's Jimmy with the ball. Steph goes to set a back screen on Steven Adams. As Draymond comes off the screen, two stay with Steph, and Draymond gets a free wide open layup. But even with the stagnant offense in the third, the Dubs still maintained an 8-point lead heading into the fourth. And this is where Steph Curry took over.
This is where the daggers come out too. Stephen Curry rips the cords.
In the fourth quarter, the Rockets eased up on the Steph Curry pressure, and they paid for it. Because not only was he scoring at will, but he was still breaking down the defense. Here's Steph with the ball. He immediately gets doubled at half court. He passes it down to Draymond, who now has the 2v1 situation on the left side. Jalen Green drops to Pods, leaving Buddy wide open yet again.
Playmaker sets up Buddy Hield. That's his first points of the second half.
This game was simply a masterclass in the next man up mentality from Buddy Hield, and a masterclass in affecting the game in more than one way from Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. Whether it was defense, playmaking, or simply making shots when the team really needed it, someone was there to fill the void. This series perfectly reflected the type of season that the Warriors have had for most of the regular season. A literal roller coaster of emotions. The Warriors steal Game 1 on the road, then all of a sudden, Jimmy gets injured and the Warriors' hype drops drastically. Then the Warriors win without Jimmy in Game 3 and scoop Game 4 in Jimmy's return, raising the hype all the way back up. And then Games 5 and 6 happened, just for Golden State to prevail victorious in Game 7. Once again I say, if there's one thing the Warriors can give you, it's a very entertaining series with a side of a few heart attacks. The Rockets played extremely hard throughout the entire series, definitely the most physical series in a long time, but it just wasn't enough to stop the Chef and the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, Jimmy Butler, everybody.
Buddy.
Come on, Jimmy Butler. Fuck today. Jimmy Butler. Andy Watson.
Buddy.
Not Robert Owen. He's Alfred. His name is Butler. Could you? What is it?
What can you say about Buddy's performance tonight?
Yeah, Jimmy.
Bounty on my